Welcome back. In this video, we have Prathamesh Patil with us, a proud PCCO student who not just cracked EQ but also made it to a round in Google.
Every week, we come up with a new video featuring students placed at top product based companies. So hit that subscribe button so you stay updated.
I am Madhav,
I am Tanish
and
and
let's
let's
get
get
started.
started. Hey Prathamesh, welcome to the podcast. Super excited to have you here today. So let's kick things off with a quick introduction. Tell us about yourself, your college, your branch.
Yep. So my name is Prathamesh Patil, and I have just graduated from PCCOE from IT department, Information Technology department. I'm a 2025 grad, and before that, I had done my diploma in computer engineering from Government Polytechnic Jalgaon, and I actually belong from Jalgaon. And after that, I went for graduation, and now I'm working as a software engineer intern at EQ. And before that, I had worked at Connectwise, just like a software intern.
Okay. So was it your first preference or were you exploring other companies too during your placement season?
Um, uh, as I said, I had been an intern at ConnectWise before, so I had some experience from ConnectWise also. I was the intern there. I was an intern there, but when I was going to complete my internship at ConnectWise, like it was the last month of my internship, and at that time only I got a call from the EQ recruitment that they are coming for on-campus recruitment at a college, and then I got shortlisted for those interviews, and I cleared those interviews. And before completing my internship at ConnectWise, I had the EQ's offer in hand. So that's how it got started.
Okay.
Apart from ConnectWise and EQ, like what other companies you were interviewed for?
Um, the, like in my in my third year, in the first semester of my third year, uh, I had uh, I had interviewed for Google for my internship. There was one role in Google, that application engineer intern. So I had interviewed for that role. Actually, it was my first interview, and there were like 2 to 3 rounds in those interviews. And unfortunately, I couldn't clear the last round. I did clear around 2 rounds of them. Like there were 3 rounds, and I could clear 2 DSA rounds, and there was a last round about system design, which I couldn't clear unfortunately. So that was my first interview. Second was from ConnectWise, which I did clear, and third was EQ.
So let's talk a little bit about Google only. So like, how was the interview process? How did you apply, and what was your thought behind it?
Um, Actually, the application process was not that simple for me, because I did apply from the career site before by taking a referral, but I didn't get the call from them for interview rounds at that time. But they did store my resume in the database for further use. And when the similar opportunity came, they did take my resume as they considered my resume for that role, and they did reach out to me through Gmail that this particular profile aligns with the my resume, and they want to interview me for that profile. So that's how I got the interview call from Google, and that's how it went on.
Okay, okay.
So when I got the call for the interview, I was told that the next interview is for DSA, and those 2 interviews went on. And after completing those 2 interviews, they told me that the last round is of system design. So I didn't have like a lot of knowledge about system design. So I did prepare for like 2 to 3 days, whatever I can. I did for that interview, and so it was not practically possible to learn everything about system design in 2 to 3 days. So I did learn what I could, but it wasn't sufficient for it. So I couldn't clear that interview just because of that thing, because I didn't know that system design is asked in interview experience or interviews for interns.
Okay, so let's dig down into your interviews. So, what did the entire process look like? Like, how many rounds were there, and what kind of assessments or interviews did you face?
Okay, so for EQ, like the first thing that happened with us regarding EQ was there was a pre-placement talk that they explained us about the company first, that what do they do, and what technologies do they use, and how do they work actually. And they also told us about the um, salary and compensation that they are going to provide. And after that pre-placement talk, there was a test. There was actually a coding assessment, which also had some aptitude questions. So it was like the test was around 60 minutes, and the like for the aptitude part, it was mostly logical. I would like to mention that part here, that the aptitude test that they had, it was not mostly focused on quantitative aptitude, but it was mostly focused on automata, or we can say logical reasoning. So that was a good part about the that aptitude test, because I was not mostly interested in preparing for aptitude, because I didn't find it that much interesting. So that was a lucky part for me, that the aptitude was actually related to logical reasoning. So it was around 30 to 35 minutes, and after that, there were two coding questions in the test. So you had to complete those questions of aptitude and the coding questions in the 60 minutes of duration. So that was the first test. And then we had an interview round where they interviewed us based on our technical skills. And there was also one more round. So two rounds of technical assessments, and like one coding test and two technical rounds. And then there was a managerial, or we can say there was I guess there was a nature round. So maybe let me just confirm it. So it was a nature round actually, not a managerial round. So that's how the
Okay.
flow went.
So
So now let's dig into the preparation phase. When did you start preparing seriously for placements?
Yeah, for me it was like the end of my second year of engineering. Um, I wasn't preparing for inter or for like placements or something like that at the start of my engineering, because I was a DSY student actually, a DI second year student, and I was mostly focused on coping up with other people. Like I was trying to catch up with other people that for the studies also, because we were like 2 to 3 months back in when we talk about studies, because we were joining around 2 to 3 months late for the college. So I was trying to catch up with them for studies, and in the second semester of my second year, I started preparing for placements. And I didn't actually know about DSA and all those things. So there was a coding competition in our college, the coding test, actually the coding contest, which was uh, which was arranged by a group or an organization from our college. So I did appear for that contest, and there I came to know that there is something. If there is a term DSA, uh, which is used for like shortlisting people for placements and all those things. So I did connect with a senior and asked him that what is this thing and how do we prepare for it. So he told me about DSA and how do we actually prepare for it. And then I started for preparing for DSA.
okay. Did you also focus on mock interviews, resume building, and communication skills as well?
Yeah, resume building was like the most hardest part for me for like starting, because I didn't have a proper template for resume. So I was really confused that where should I go, and like which site on which on site should I go, and what should I actually take out from there to put into my resume. So I wasn't completely sure. So again, for that thing, I did connect with a senior. Like he was actually a super senior for me. So I did connect with him and asked him what should I do and which template should I use. So he told me that you shouldn't get confused with those templates. You can take any template from anywhere and start putting your information in that template. So that's how I built my first resume. I took a template from Google Docs and I started putting all my information in it, and my resume started building. So it by itself. So currently, also I use that same resume to apply anywhere. So that's how my resume got built. And there was a friend of mine. She actually helped me in the mock interviews. Like we used to take mock interviews of each other. So that's how we practice for interviews through mock interviews.
Okay, okay. So kudos to your friend then.
Yeah.
So Prathamesh, what platforms or resources helped you the most?
For
Repeat it.
platforms, I would say for DSA, I mostly use LeetCode for it. Like all my DSA preparation went on LeetCode. And for choosing the problem statements, I would say Striver. There's a guy on YouTube. You might also know him, Striver. He had provided a sheet, that A to Z DSA sheet. It is really good. Like all the problems that he has curated are really great, and you can cover all the topics from those on those problems. So I used that sheet for problems, and I did use LeetCode for coding, and I also use GFG for for the theoretical part and for coding also. So I had profiles on GFG and LeetCode. So I was coding there, and yeah, I would say those two platforms helped me a lot.
Okay.
Okay, let's deep dive into the interview rounds a little bit. So you said that the coding round, sorry, the first aptitude round was a little bit of coding, a little bit of automata, and a little bit of aptitude as well. So, like, was it coding heavy, aptitude based, or more technical MCQ based?
For the first round, for the interview round or the coding test?
The coding test.
Coding.
Yeah. So the coding test was the coding questions were not that hard. Like it was, I would say, from the lead code rating, it was around easy to medium questions, and the aptitude questions were not that hard actually, because I didn't prepare for aptitude. But if you have good logical thinking, I think you can clear the aptitude test. And the questions were a little bit of, you can say, a mix of easy, medium, difficulty.
Okay, and for the coding questions, do you remember the topics?
I think it was the first question was related to strings. I
Hmm.
would I remember that, and the second question was, I think it was about arrays and hash maps. Yeah.
Oh,
So the question that I got was uh, related to these topics.
Okay. So you mentioned that you, after the coding round was completed, you went through like two of the technical rounds. So what was the
Actually, I just did remember the test that we discussed about the first coding test. The aptitude round only had 50 minutes, like 14 to 50 minutes, and the two coding questions that we discussed, they had 60 minutes. So that was the duration. They had separate timing. Like the aptitude test was for 15 minutes, and the coding question had 60 minutes.
okay,
okay.
okay. And when you were saying like after the coding round, you like went through two of the technical rounds, what was the
Mhm.
focus in those rounds? Like, was it a DSA focused or it was mostly on the development side?
Yeah. So in the first round of interviews, like in the first round, they did ask GSA. Like I got a question related to graphs in the first round itself, and also they were focused on some Java specific questions, like for development also. So we had some discussions on the collection framework from Java. Like they used to ask me a little bit of questions on collection framework and how actually they have implemented collection framework in Java. So some of the part was related to that. So it was a mix of DSA as well as development part. And they did also ask me about my projects, like which projects that I have done already, and a little bit of details about those projects.
So, you mentioned that along with the development part, the coding questions were also asked. So, was it hands-on coding or more about like explaining the logic?
Yeah, so they did paste the question that they were asking, like they did paste the question related to graphs, and they asked me to describe my logic for that. What do I think about the question? So before starting the question, actually, or the solution, I did ask them some clarifying questions about the question itself, like um, what do you actually need in the solution, and what are we expecting? So
Hmm.
that's how the solution process started. And then I started explaining them some rough logic about the solution, like this is how I'm going to solve this. So before starting the coding, we were mostly discussing about the logic of the solution. So after that, they asked me some clarifying questions like, do you think this is the most optimal solution for this? So we started optimizing the solution orally. We didn't even code for it. We didn't even write a pseudo code. We were only discussing orally, and I was explaining my approach to them. And at last we reached to a part where I had an optimal solution in my hand, and I did tell them the complete logic orally. So they were impressed with that logic, and they didn't ask me to code the logic actually.
So let's talk about the HR and cultural fit round a little bit. So what was
Mhm.
the HR round like? Was it casual or were there any technical related questions as well?
Um, there was a bit of technical related question. They did ask us about the coding standards. Like it wasn't a question answer type of format, but they did ask us to write a code, and based on that code, they assessed us like how do we actually write the code, and while writing the code, are we really thinking on it? Like before writing something, are we really thinking about it? So that's how they assess us about related to the standards of coding. And after that, it was mostly those generic questions that they do ask in the HR rounds, like where do you see yourself in 5 years and all those things.
So let's rewind to the offer day. How did you feel when you got EQ Technologic offer?
Yeah. So I was actually in a stand-up call. As I just said that I was interning at ConnectWise. So at that day, I was working at ConnectWise, and I was in a stand-up call when I got the mail that I have been shortlisted for that recruitment drive. So I was just checking if that's actually my name or not, that whether it is me, Prathamesh Patil, who has got shortlisted. So I confirmed it, and in the whole day, it was a bit of a process that has happened with me, that about the like offer acceptance process. And after that process, I got the offer, and I started getting messages from my friends, like those congratulations messages. And I did call my father at my home and told him that I have been presented with an offer by this company, and this is the CTC of the company. So they were also happy, and it was a good day.
That's
Nice,
nice.
nice.
So we heard that EQ Technologic offers around 14 LPA for freshers. So how accurate was that in your case? Can you just break down a little bit?
Yeah, I think you have done a good research. Actually, they do offer a CTC of 13.88 LPA,
Okay.
and the fixed component is around 12 lakhs, and the rest is variable.
Okay. Okay. So were there any additional perks or benefits in your offer that really stood out for you?
I would say their fixed component is almost the cities that we are getting. So they are not cutting a lot of salary from it.
Correct.
So that's the good thing. I would say that they are providing a lot of fixed component to us.
So let's talk about life at EQ Technologic. Now that you're working at EQ, what's your role look like?
Yeah, it's been around like 4 months that I've been working at EQ as an intern, as an software engineer intern. So till now, it's a great experience. Like I would say, the best thing at EQ is the people at EQ. Like they help a lot. Just as an intern, I have a lot of problems while actually solving some problems at the company. Or whenever I take up a problem, I have to like explore a lot about around the code. So in that process, I get stuck at somewhere. So these people do help me a lot in that problem. That whenever I get stuck, they do help. Like uh, whenever, if even if they are busy, they take out some time from that busy schedule and they help me for that particular problem. So they that is the help that I get from them. And also the behavior is really good. Like we go out sometimes for lunch parties and dinner parties. So these people are really good at EQ. So if I say life at EQ, I would say the people are creating the life at EQ.
So, so Prathamesh, for students who are targeting companies like EQ Technologic, what would be an ideal 1 month plan of preparation would look like?
Yep. So I have got these questions a lot of time from my juniors. So I have an answer fixed in my mind. So, uh, the first thing that you have to prepare is your DSA.
Mhm.
So DSA, you should have to know a lot of concept about DSA, like those concepts that are actually asked by companies. So as I just mentioned about Shriver, so he has the sheet. You can go there and prepare a DSA according to that sheet. So it has like the sheet has complete most of the topics, so you don't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
Also, you have to be you have to have good knowledge about development also. So you have to choose a particular field and you have to master that field in development. Like it can be any field. You can choose software development, you can go for web dev, you can go for machine learning or anything, but you should choose one field and you should do good in that field itself. And after that, when DSA development are done, you can go for CS fundamentals. So I would say for me, it was in college itself. So if you're studying something, like we do have CS fundamentals in our college itself, the college syllabus. So if you're doing your syllabus, maybe I would say when you're doing your syllabus, you should be learning that syllabus in a way that you are preparing for interviews itself. So while studying, you can score good marks, and at the same time, you can prepare for placements. So you can do CS fundamentals that way. And the subjects that are actually asked are OS, DVMS, and computer networks, and that's the most of the subjects. And after that, I would say you should focus on your projects. So And while doing projects, you should also focus on the problem statements. So which problem statements you are choosing. So it should be a meaningful problem statements, and it should actually solve a particular real world problem, so that you can impress the interviewer based on the problem statement itself before actually telling about your project, that what you do, what have you done in your project. So the problem statement should be meticulously selected. And yeah, I would say that's the most of it for preparation, and then you can go for mock interviews.
Okay, very well said, Prathamesh. So before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to students who feel nervous or stuck in their placement journey?
Yeah, so that word nervous, a lot of people face that problem. Like they are nervous while giving interviews. So I would say you should work on that. And there's one thing, take it until you make it. So I'm not promoting that thing, but I would say if you can't build your mental state, that if you it is practical that someone might feel nervous if they are going for interviews. Like it is obvious that they are going to feel nervous, but we should not like manifest that nervousness to the interviewer. We should at least create an image for the interview that you are not feeling nervous, so that the interviewer not would not uh, take you as a nervous person and would not start acting or asking questions based on that thing. So you should at least show them that you are not feeling nervous. So that's how you can cope up with that, because nobody can not feel nervous, because it's actually an emotional stuff. So you cannot remove that particular thing, but you can at least fake it that you are not feeling nervous. And that's the thing that I actually did while I was giving interviews, because I also felt nervous, and I did try to not make the interviewer know that I'm feeling nervous. And also, there is one more advice I would like to put that advice in this particular video. I have also made a post on LinkedIn regarding that. So it is mostly related to the health of the students. So most of the students, while they are preparing for interviews, they neglect their health completely. Like there were a lot of friends of mine who were like they were completely into the preparation itself. So like they were used to give the whole day to the preparation, and they were neglecting their health. So the guys who are preparing for interviews or any kind of thing, I would not say only the placements, but if there is anything that they are preparing for, like higher studies or anything like that, they should also focus on their health while they are preparing for these things. So maybe I would say go for a walk in on the evening, and or join a gym, or do anything which would make you stay healthy. Like if you stay physically healthy, you would also stay mentally healthy. So I would say focus on that also while you are preparing for all these things.
Agree 100%.
So thank you so much, Prathamesh, for sharing your journey. Wishing you amazing success at EQ Technologic and beyond. This is
Yes.
definitely going to inspire a lot of folks, and they are going to learn a lot from it. So thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you for
you.
your time.
So thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe and drop a comment below. We would love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.